Special City Council meeting of August 20th, 2026 to order. You can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. After a few weeks, it's good to be back, everybody. Today, we acknowledge that the land we gather, live, and work on today, currently known as the City of Palm Springs, is the original homeland of the Agua Caliente Band of Kuya Indians. The sovereign band of Agua Caliente people have stewarded this land throughout the generations and continue to steward this land for all future generations. We honor and respect the many diverse indigenous people still connected to this land. Madam City Clerk, can you please conduct roll call?
Let the record reflect that all members are present.
Wonderful. Our next item is the acceptance of the agenda. The City Council will discuss the order and amend. We just have one. Do we have a motion to accept? A motion and a second. Motion carries. Next item is public testimony. This time has been set aside for members of the public to address the City Council on special agenda items only. 2 minutes are assigned. If anyone has written comments, we ask you to share that you would like to share with City Council. We ask that you submit it to the City Clerk for distribution. We have a couple of online speakers. First, we have Joan Taylor, please.
Appointing Jeffrey Bernstein to the spot. Thank you.
Joan, I don't know if we missed the first part of what you said. Could you just repeat, please?
Yes, Joan Taylor, live in Palm Springs. Speaking for myself as an individual, I'm an advocate for land preservation and local clean energy, and I support this appointment for Jeffrey Bernstein. Could you hear that?
We did hear that completely. Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you.
Next, we have Saul Diaz. So if you can hear us, you have 2 minutes. So if you can hear us, you can hit unmute, and you have 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Anyone else for online comment, or online or in-person comments? Okay. Next item is item 1A, titled Consideration of a Resolution Appointing a Candidate for District 2 City Council Seat and Canceling the General Municipal Election for District 2, specifically scheduled for November 3rd, 2026. May we have a staff report, please?
Good morning. Honorable Mayor and City Council, on November 3rd, 2026, a general municipal election will be held for the purpose of electing City Council members for District 1, 2, and 3. After the close of the nomination period on August 7th, Councilmember Jeffrey Bernstein was the only candidate officially nominated for District 2. Pursuant to California Election Code 10229, if only one candidate is nominated to be elected from a particular district, the City Council may take one of two actions. 1, appoint the person who's been nominated and cancel the election, or 2, proceed with conducting the election. If the election is not canceled, the City Clerk's office will accept write-in candidates during the write-in nomination period, which is September 7th to October 20th. Additionally, the City Clerk's office received a cost estimate from the County Registrar of Voters, estimating the District 2 election will cost approximately $22,000 for one candidate. If the city chooses to cancel the election for District 2, the election for District 1 and 3 will not be impacted and will proceed as scheduled. Lastly, the city has received confirmation from the county that the cities of Calimesa canceled their elections for 2 council seats on August 17th, and the city of Temecula is scheduled to conduct a special meeting this morning at 9 to consider canceling the election of 2 council seats, just as I mentioned. I will say that this is normal standard procedure pursuant to Election Code 10229 and not any action from members of council. I just would like to highlight and underscore that. Thank you. Any questions? Here, I'm available.
Before we open to discussion, any questions specifically for Brenda? Yeah, just questions.
Yeah, just a question. Madam Clerk, thank you. Could you just explain on the 20, approximately 22,000, how does that actually break down? So it's a range depending on, how does that actually work? If you could just explain that.
So Riverside County estimate it based on the number of registered voters in that district. So depending on, I think it's a 6,700 registered voters in District 2, and so it's $3.50 per registered voters is how they normally calculate their estimates.
And then it's based on the actual, so if, say, 4 of the 6,000 vote, it's based on the actual number?
Not
or-
determined by the number votes cast, it's determined by number of registered voters, because they still accumulate the cost of mailing out ballots to all registered voters, not just number cast. So they do
Understood.
incur an
Okay.
expense
Great.
based on registered
Voters.
voters.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Councilmember Bernstein, do you want to
Yeah.
give some comments on this?
I want to clarify a couple of things. So I did speak with the city attorney, and there is no requirement for me to recuse from this conversation or vote. I am, however, going to abstain from voting. And before I do, I just want to make a couple comments, and then I'm going to go sit in the audience so you can discuss. I do understand there is a very real financial consideration that council should take into account. I also believe that the right to vote or to choose not to vote is a very important right that all residents and citizens have and should not be taken lightly. I do respect whatever decision council makes, and I'll be happy with that. I will continue, regardless of the decision today, to meet with the residents, to meet with stakeholders, to answer questions, to share ideas, to get input. And I will do that keep doing that as long as I am still running and then and if I'm in office again. So I want to thank the council for coming today and for your support, and I have great respect for all of you and what you decide. So thank you.
Thank you,
And
Councilmember.
I have registering an official abstaining.
So noted.
Thank you. So we can have a brief discussion on this. So, Madam City Clerk, thank you for that summary, kind of noting that this is standard procedure when there is only one candidate, that this was flagged to us as something that would be standard since we didn't have a second candidate in this race specifically. There was a couple things that I found particularly compelling and helpful for context for me is one, the two cities that you mentioned that are already doing this. I also, in the staff report, it was noted that the county automatically does this for special districts and special elections and school districts. So really trying to make this as simple as possible for varying governing bodies. We are a city, so it's our call, but that this is standard protocol. And I heard from a couple of people via email, and $22,000 for some might seem not that much money to have this election, but $20,000 here, $40,000 here. I think when we talk about really kind of respecting our careful budget, this is like one example where the county tries to make it as simple as possible for us to make our elections as affordable as possible. So I'd be open to supporting the resolution to appoint Councilmember Bernstein for this seat. And the other thing I would just flag, our city clerk's office, just thank you for all of the work and every election for our residents. Our city clerk's office is extremely accessible to answering questions on how to qualify, the process, all of those steps. I have deep confidence in our city clerk's office. And so both for this seat, but all the other ones, future elections, we want to make sure people who are interested in running know exactly what it takes and how to qualify. And so I'm confident that was done here too, as well. Any other comments?
Thank you so much. I think that for me, if the cost savings are important, but if we're going to cancel an election, then I'd want to see those cost savings go towards something tangible. For instance, been talking for years off and on about a citizens academy of some sort to give just more civics education to our residents. We don't do a lot of civics education in school, and so a lot of times local elections and local governments are really not something that people understand fully. There's been a lot of success in other jurisdictions with having these types of meetings to explain. I know our police department at one point had a Citizens Academy, the same thing, trying to make sure people understood all of that policing took, and those were really well attended. So for me, if we do move to a point, I'd want to see that savings go towards actually establishing a Citizens Academy. That said, I also understand the importance of having an election, and when there is just one candidate on the ballot, there's a lot of awareness. Suddenly people who maybe hadn't thought about it before go, oh, wow, there was an election and there was only one candidate. Maybe I should have actually put my name in, my hat in the ring, and they didn't. So I do like that it provides another level of awareness. This is what we did last time with then Councilmember Lisa Middleton, because it made sure that people realized that there was an election happening. The other part of that is there still is legally a write-in time period, and so technically someone could write in and get on the ballot. I think it is. My understanding is it is a difficult process, but it is still one that is allowed. And so by appointing, we are removing that ability for someone to write in. So those are just the things that I'm thinking about in this.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, it's a challenging question on a couple levels, but I think the more the philosophical argument for me is obviously it's an election, is Councilmember Garner indicated. There's still the write-in period, so we would be taking that away. Not that those are necessarily successful; rarely are they. The other part is. Philosophically, it always seems that it's important for constituents to have the ability to vote either for or against, even if there's only one person. That helps to inform us as candidates, or whoever the candidate is, what their constituents are thinking about their policies. On the other side of that, I singularly could enumerate the good things that Councilmember Bernstein has done over his tenure, not the least of which I applaud you, extension of Measure J, leading that as mayor. Thank you very much. That will help the city significantly over many years. And I think collectively we all could state the good things you have done. So it's not an issue of whether we support the candidate or not. For me, it's a philosophical issue. So I think I would tend to consider that outweighing the balance of the savings, of the efficiency of it, as it seems, to go forward more on the democratic philosophical kinds of principles. So that's my thinking. But be curious to your comments.
Well, I think I'm very different than what we've already heard, I think, today. And I wish, Jeffrey, you would be much more of a stronger advocate for your residents being able to speak out and vote for you. I think that's important. It's important for the people of the city to see city council members that are fighters. I want you to be a fighter. And like Mayor Pro Tem said, this is not about your qualities. I think you've demonstrated your ability. This is about a basic principle of democracy. This is the most valuable right our citizens have, is to go to the ballot box and vote. And we're telling them today that, no, you don't have a choice. We're going to make a better choice for you. To me, that just, I cannot even fathom that that this council, who stands up so strongly and firmly to collect public input on everything from toys and playgrounds to colors of brands and logos, that we would not seek their input to allow them to choose their council member. And the cost is truly insignificant. Truly insignificant when it comes to democracy and what's occurring across the country, where votes are being taken away, people are being made challenged to go to the ballot box, and now we're saying we're not even going to let you go to the ballot box to say that you support Councilmember Bernstein, or to say, you know what, Councilmember Bernstein, I want you to do better and vote that way. I think this conversation, I'm really disappointed. The conversation didn't even need to happen. We didn't need to be here today. Staff doesn't need to be here today. The time and energy and cost and expense to conduct this meeting today didn't even need to happen. Our city clerk told us right now, and she told us on August 10th when she sent a note to all of us as city council members, 3 attorneys, staff members, that if holding a special meeting is not feasible, we will proceed with the election. There's no reason why we're having this meeting today unless we had the intention of appointing a council member. Clerk also went on to say, and I applaud the city clerk's work, just as the mayor has. The clerk also pointed out that being able to keep it on the ballot allows for the possibility of write-in candidates. We're taking that right away. And I know 2 people. 2 people have posted publicly that they are asking people to write their name in. How can we take that right away, whether or not they're going to get enough votes to win the election? It's their right. And we are not in a position, I am not in a position of a council member to take that right away. I was asked on August 12th what my position was. Within an hour of being asked by the city clerk, I responded to the city clerk and to the assistant city manager that I think we need to put the office to ballot. I've seen another candidate encouraging a write-in effort. A few minutes later, I wrote an email responding to the city clerk. With the other D2 individual expressing interest in a write-in effort, I do not see how we can take that opportunity away from anyone else. It's their right to choose their council member. Within 8 minutes, I get a note back from the assistant city manager. Thank you for getting back to us. There is consensus to have a special meeting. So in a matter of minutes, there was already a decision made that we were going to have a special meeting. In a matter of minutes, there was a consensus being made that we were going to have a special meeting. And why did we need to have a special meeting when we didn't need to do anything because council member's name could have stayed on the ballot and gone to the ballot box? We're having a meeting because we're deciding whether to appoint Councilmember Bernstein and take that right away from his voters. So I'm disappointed that some residents who've reached out are already including me in this effort to take away a vote. And that's why I am speaking today, and why it was so important to be here is I want the people of Palm Springs to know I will stand out and fight so you can have your vote at the ballot box. There is no option for me. And I am not part of the consensus that said, I want to have a meeting today to discuss an appointment. I don't know how we got here, but we're here. You know, there's been some really valid comments made. We had a caller who expressed her opinion. There's been some comments online. I've had people reach out to me. It's as clear to the voters of Palm Springs as it is to me. Calling this an uncontested election is premature. The write-in period has not even opened. Canceling the election today would shut down the electoral process before voters had their final opportunity to offer an alternative. Another note, the nomination process is supported or supposed to determine who gets on the ballot, not a substitute for the ballot. An election lets voters affirm Councilmember Bernstein's candidacy or write in someone else, or they can leave their vote blank, providing at least some measure of electoral support. Appointment today provides none. It may confer the office, but it does not confer the same democratic mandate as an election. These are comments that have been sent to me. This isn't about asking council to oppose Councilmember Bernstein, which you've already heard from this dais. It's about allowing voters, not the sitting council, to determine who represents District 2 for the next 4 years. So I have no idea what it cost us to be here today, but when you look at 3 attorneys, staff that's here today, the staff hours that it took to prepare this meeting, the organizational time, I think we all would be very surprised at what it has cost us to this point to be in this room. So to think we're saving money, I don't think along those lines. So clearly, I oppose, number one, having this special meeting, and I will not vote to take away the voters' right to choose their council member. The D2 election needs to go to the ballot. The public is asking for that. I will vote for that. Residents need to participate in our democratic process and elect their representative. And I firmly believe this is not a choice for City Council to be making today up here on the dais.
Councilmember Gardner, did you have comments?
I do. Thank you so much. So part of the reason that we're having a public meeting is because we have a decision to make. And so it's important for us to do that in public, because whether or not, if we could have said we're not having a meeting, whether for feasibility or because we were making a decision to make sure this ballot, Mr. Bernstein was on the ballot. So a decision had to be made, and we make decisions in public. So that is why we are here, to make a decision on whether or not to appoint or to move forward with a ballot. And that is extremely important that we do in public. And that's why you had council members say we should have a meeting. We also had to do it within this time frame by law. We could not wait for the write-in period to end in order to do this. By law, we have to do it now. And we've all expressed our different thoughts, and we do have, Councilmember DeHart, 2 other people who supported having an election. So there is clearly support for an election. I was the council member that led that decision when Councilmember Middleton was on the ballot, and I also felt very firmly about that. So again, it is important for us to weigh the options. That is our job as council members, is to consider every option, which includes cost savings, which we have had robust discussions on in our budget over small amounts of dollars as well. So again, I agree that we should have an election because I think it is an important part of our democracy and bringing awareness to our residents, because we do want people to run for office and we do want residents to feel empowered to run for office. But we had a decision to make, we had a discussion, and now we vote. And we do that publicly.
Mayor Pro Tem, do you have any other additional comments? I think my closing comment would really focus on we are lucky to be in California. We are lucky to be able to follow the guidance of the Registrar of Voters. This discussion is not an anomaly for any city that has an election where it is uncontested. There's literally another one happening at the same exact moment on the other side of the county. So there is nothing facetious about this discussion happening to begin with. There's the same exact conversation happened, up on the hill in Calamasa literally yesterday. 3 days ago. And so the process is important to be respected, because when we question an ethical, legal process that maybe we disagree with, it puts into question the very rules in which we're supposed to be following. And so I really can't stress enough that this is something the Registrar of Voters allows us to do, automatically assumes other governing bodies to do. And so I would have been fine moving forward with the appointment. Again, other cities do this. Palm Springs is very, very special, absolutely. And I think sometimes we spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of focus on things that other cities don't have to spend as much time when they're facing the same exact problem or the same exact question. And so if we decide to move forward with an election, I look forward to that community dialogue. I look forward to working with my colleague in his next term if he were to win again. But this process is based off of California law. And so I just cannot stress enough that we follow the guidance of staff who are the experts in our election process. And so I just want to say thank you for flagging the timeline to us, and making sure that we are having all the considerations that we can have in the way that we're supposed to. Yeah.
So just to be clear, I want to make a motion to hold the election.
So it would be against the.
Yeah, so my motion is that we host an election.
Okay, your motion passes. Thank you. The next city council meeting will be held next Wednesday, August 26th. It'll be our regular city council meeting. And until then, best of luck to all of our candidates. And looking forward to that community dialogue. Thank you. See you next week.
All righty then.